Thank you so much for staying in the CTV News. 10 years after commencing a service from Atlanta, Delta Airlines inaugurates a flight out of New York. Both airline and local tourism officials are hopeful this new service out of New York will be even more productive than the Atlanta route. We have more in this report.
When the Delta Airlines Flight 492 out of New York touched down at the Inaugural International Airport on Saturday, it was entering the record books and signaling the potential to surpass the number of passengers brought in by the Atlanta service.
For over 10 years, Delta has been flying out of Atlanta to St. Lucia, and in that time has transported over 800,000 passengers, and that's the throughput over that time. This inaugural flight augurs well for the future, and if sustained over time, it is more than likely the route would reflect the similarity of that with Atlanta.
Among tourism officials present at the ceremony to mark the arrival of the new Delta flight was Tourism Director Louis Lewis, who noted that for the first time there were 3 Delta flights to St. Lucia on the same day. The flights for that day showed that a record 1,900 passengers had flown into the island, the most in one day.
It's the first time that we are having 3 Delta flights on one day into the island. So that's another record and an outstanding achievement. But it's also the day that we have had the most passengers ever handled at this airport, which is over 1,900 passengers. So we have an inaugural flight, a record of having 3 from one airline, and also the record number of people in here.
There was still yet another record set on Saturday at the Inaugural International Airport.
But there's also another record that I understand that we broke with this inaugural flight. It's the first time that we've had a flight, an inaugural flight, with a 97% load factor. So this really shows the strength of the market, the efforts that have been expended in terms of trying to stimulate demand for St. Lucia, and the confidence that Delta has recognized in St. Lucia and our product by putting on this additional flight.
The New York Delta flight is good news for the local tourism sector, which has been requesting additional airlift. It was also a thrill for the diaspora, as Delta's district sales manager, Richard Pyle, found out when he met with St. Lucians living in New York on the eve of the flight.
They were all so excited about having the additional service, the additional lift into the island, because this offers so much opportunities to the St. Lucians here. More airlift means more opportunities, more jobs, and of course we're happy to be a part of that.
The weekly service out of John F. Kennedy International Airport will operate every Saturday throughout the year. The aircraft being used is a Boeing 737-800 with a seating capacity of 160. The service departs New York at 8:30 a.m., arriving in St. Lucia at 2:10 p.m. The return flight departs St. Lucia at 3:15 p.m., arriving in New York around 7:07 p.m.